Good evening, everyone. YouTube says I'm live. As always, Gordon Causey, coming to you from southeastern Ontario, Canada. And we'll get Candy taken care of so that I get peace for the duration. It's a good girl. Good girl. All right. Lay down. Speak. Speak. Lay down. Speak. Speak. There you go. I'm going to try and keep this one short. I see I already had one comment. Darnell Pistachio, thank you for joining in. No worries, things are going okay. I did a video yesterday and I mentioned that I would be making 3 predictions. And that's what they are. I don't claim to have a crystal ball. I don't claim to be a prophet. No divine revelation, just looking at the way the world is going. These are things I see very strong potential that they're coming down the pipe. You'll recall perhaps that a few months ago, Klaus Schwab, who's the head of the World Economic Forum, was addressing the G20 summit in Bali, and he gave out a warning. He said that we should expect black swan events. A black swan event is a significant negative event, like COVID. I'm not going to, I've got to be careful because I've had my videos taken down before. But anyway, prediction number 1. I strongly suspect that we will see the declaration of a global climate emergency before sometime during the summer. I think such a declaration would need a catalyst, a significant climatic event. Any number of things come to mind. Forest fires, typhoon, a significant climatic event that would be blamed on climate change and warrant they would use it to warrant the declaration of a global climate emergency. And as we saw during COVID, the declaration of an emergency allows normal democratic processes to be circumvented and for things to move much faster. I'm in Canada with Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, who famously, in the run-up to the 2015 election, was addressing a women's group and was asked what countries in the world he admired. And his answer was he admired China because their basic dictatorship allowed them to move and get things accomplished at a far greater speed than what happens with our, I guess, horrible democracy in the eyes of Justin Trudeau. The one big climatic event that I could see being significant is, if you know history, in the 1930s in the American Midwest, they had what was called the Dust Bowl, and there was a severe drought. These things happen, but now I would see a significant, climatic event being used to declare a global climate emergency, and then all manner of measures could be instituted, circumventing normal democratic processes. For example, a country like Canada, just thinking off the top of my head, could declare the urgent need to place a $1 additional tax on a liter of gasoline, just one example. So that's one prediction. Second prediction is come the fall, the emergence of a new variant of COVID, and resulting in a reintroduction of things like what we've seen before. And primarily, the one thing is, if you've been keeping globally, certainly in the United States and in Canada, and I'm sure in Europe as well, have said that there will be a new booster shot coming out in the fall, and it will be targeting whatever variants. They're going to make a decision as to which variant or variants, plural, to target in June of this year, saying that it's similar to the way they manage the annual influenza vaccines. We're told every year that in that May, June period, April, May, June, that health authorities make something of a best guess as to which strains of the flu are thought will be the most prevalent and the most virulent. And then those are the strains of the flu, H1N2, H2N3, whatever they are. Those are the strains that are targeted. And we're told that the efficacy, how well the flu vaccine works, is based on how well they predicted. And some years there'll be particularly bad flu outbreaks, and they'll say, well, we didn't think that that particular strain was going to be the most virulent. And I see the potential for there to be a combination shot, COVID and influenza at the same. And it would also, I suspect that if this does come to pass, that the shot would be mandated. And then the third and final prediction, although I have kind of a fourth, the third prediction is that before 2024 rolls around, that there will be an escalation of the war in Ukraine and the war going on between Ukraine and Russia. That, or the emergence of a new conflict. Maybe it would be China, Taiwan, maybe something in the Middle East. That's the third prediction. And it's all predicated on Klaus Schwab announcing to the world at the G20 summit that we should expect more black swan events. And further, we're in the midst of this great reset agenda, the fourth industrial revolution. There's United Nations Agenda 2030. Likewise, there's the United Nations SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals. And coming from a Canadian perspective again, Justin Trudeau in September of 2020 addressed by video link the United Nations. And he referred to the COVID pandemic as an opportunity to accelerate pre-pandemic planning and to put the world on a path towards sustainable development. And so that's what I see happening there. They've got this agenda 2030, Great Reset, Fourth Industrial, put whatever label on it you want. But ultimately, I think the ultimate goal at the end of the day is for the power structures within the world. Some people use the term globalists. For this globalist entity, the goal is to have the vast majority of the human population, me and 99 point whatever percent of us, to have us as little more than digital property of our corporate and government masters, a fascist type system. And we're moving in that direction. Canada's, my video of yesterday just passed Bill C-11, which the way it's written, it will allow the government it has the potential for the government to step in and to censor user-generated content, things like my video or things like Facebook postings, Substack articles, whatever. and controlling the narrative, controlling the information is central to the way fascism operates. The wild card in all this, as I see as well, and in tandem with it, and it's economic collapse. If we have a climate emergency, if we have a health emergency, if we have a war, or an escalation of the existing war between the Ukraine and Russia, how that impacts the global economy, I can't see in any way it being good. And so buckle up. Now, as it says in the title, I do hope I'm wrong for obvious reasons, but I don't take what Klaus Schwab says lightly. He certainly is far more powerful, wealthy, and influential than I am. So I'm simply reacting. And I'm going to keep this video, this one, really short, probably under 15 minutes. Darnell, thank you for your comment at the start before I even went live. I don't know if you're still watching. Anyone and everyone, you're welcome to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to be doing these on a fairly frequent basis. I always have live chat on, so if you want to put up a comment or a question or say you think I'm crazy, whatever the case, you're more than welcome to use the chat. I'll read it and respond. But these are challenging times. Things are relatively calm right now. There's the old line by a Roman poet from years ago, not quite 2000, when the Roman Empire was collapsing in on itself, and it was bread and circuses. Give the people bread and circuses, and they won't revolt. They'll go along. And what do we have happening right now? Baseball's going full bore. In Toronto, the Blue Jays are playing to a packed stadium. The Maple Leafs have made it into the second round, so it's easy to distract yourself and to think everything's hunky-dory, everything's wonderful, everything's getting back to normal. The United States, just within the last few days, announced that they're not ending the requirement for visitors to their country to be vaccinated. That is going to be an ongoing requirement. However, going forward, you'll only need one shot to be considered fully vaccinated. The United States just recently announced within the last week or so that the initial 2-dose series of the Moderna and Pfizer vaccines, that they are no longer authorized for use in the United States. Now, if you just get one of this one bivalent booster, which isn't a booster anymore, if the other two aren't available, so there's nothing to boost. Anyone who has not taken a shot yet, that if they, in the United States, if they just simply get this bivalent shot, then they are considered fully vaccinated. Darnell's saying, awesome, can't wait. In a fashion, I almost feel the same. And it's like, just bring it on. Bring it on. I feel, let's go. In terms of how to react to everything, I'll invite you to read Thoreau, Thoreau, Thoreau on noncompliance. I would echo his sentiments that were written well over 100 years ago. Anyway, thank you for watching. Appreciate Darnell jumping on. And again, you're welcome to like, share, subscribe, do all those things. Give me my little dopamine or endorphin rush, little happy drugs for the brain. Good night, everyone. God bless. And we'll see you in another day, 2 or 3. Won't be too long. Good night.